For the last 2 weeks in Lansing, majority Democrats have been pushing a tax bill that they say will bring serious relief for people suffering from the impact of inflation. Democrats say it is the most significant tax relief in decades. Republicans say it's a scheme to stop an automatic income tax rollback, and the level of rancor has reached a point where the way business has long been done in Lansing could be undone. Political reporter Rick Albin is here now to explain. All right, so let's start first. The tax bill, what would it do? What wouldn't it do?
Well, Michelle, Democrats say that this is, as they said, most significant tax reduction in a very long time in Lansing. They say it would reduce the amount of tax that would be on retirement income, though Republicans say that doesn't apply to all retirement income. It would increase the earned income tax credit, and that goes to low-income families, and it would put $180 back in the pockets of every tax filer. So those are the things Democrats say it will do. What Republicans say it will do is move about $800 million from this year's budget to last year's budget to pay for that $180, and that's just enough money to stop what would have been an automatic income tax reduction that Republicans say would have been ongoing. Now, this has created a lot of trouble over in the House. Democrats called a rule that wouldn't let House members leave while the vote was taking place. Over in the Senate, Republicans adjourned the Senate while majority Democrats were in caucus, and that certainly raised the ire of Democrats. And so that has all culminated to where it's passed the House, it's passed the Senate, but it didn't get immediate effect in the Senate, and it has to go into effect immediately to move the money from this year to last year, and that has to be done before the books close in March. And if you're confused, don't feel alone, because there's a lot here to unpack.
You also mentioned potential rule change in the Senate. What's that mean?
Yeah, and this really gets a little complicated, but this is probably the thing that would create the most division if it happens, because in order to get a bill to go into immediate effect, which this bill would have to move money from this year to last year so those $180 checks could go out, that would be enough money that would stop what Republicans say it would be an automatic income tax reduction, but you have to have immediate effect. That's a two-thirds vote, which means that at least 6 Republicans would have to join Democrats, and they have not done that yet. So on Thursday, Democrats introduced a resolution that could end up in committee that could result in the immediate effect clause being taken out. In other words, all you need is a simple majority, and then that bill could go into effect immediately. That would be a major change in the way business is done in Lansing. And if that happens, the hopes that both sides expressed for some kind of peaceful cooperation over the next 4 years could be much further away than it was when they started. Now, it isn't done yet, and the Senate Majority Leader says she's going to put the bill back up on the board Tuesday and give Republicans a chance to give them those 6 votes. Now, I can't guess what they may or may not do, but if they don't, I think the next move is going to be Democrats are going to move to get rid of immediate effect, and I don't know what kind of a battle that's going to set off in Lansing.
Okay, well, much more to come. Thank you for helping sort it all out. Thanks, Rick.